Hello, I'm Alexandra and welcome back to my channel. Today is December the 1st, which means we have already finished another month this year, November, and it's time for my reading wrap-up. I have read not that many books, honestly. I haven't counted. Let me see. Nine books. It's not a big month. Usually I get more than 10. I have been sick, just not feeling well, so I haven't read a lot, but there are some books that are worth mentioning. So as usual, I wrote everything in my notebook, book by book, and we'll go through them one by one. First one I have read in November is Bloody Mary by France Théoret. This is in French. This is full of like poems and even some short stories. It was really bad. It was just weird, but it was a fast read. I think I read this in like 2 hours at the beginning of the month. I think it was November 1st. I read it all. Yeah, it wasn't good, and I just did not enjoy it. I gave it 1 star. This was published in 2011 and has not been translated. Yeah, I don't recommend it. You shouldn't read it. So, first book, that was a complete miss, but that's okay. It's part of life, I guess. And then the second book is an audiobook I read, also November 1st. I think I finished like 3 books that day, but it always does the same at the beginning of the month. So I finish books I have started the month before and I just go through them. So A Brief History of Time, the blurb says that Stephen Hawking's books explores such profound question as how did the universe begin and what made its start possible? Does time always flow forward? Is the universe unending or are there boundaries? Are there other dimensions and space? What will happen when it all ends? Told in language we all can understand, A Brief History of Time plunges into the historic realms of black holes and quarks, of antimatter and arrows of time, of the Big Bang and a bigger God, where the possibilities are wondrous and unexpected. So this is a astrophysics books. I mean, I think we all know who Stephen Hawking was. It was just a really fun read. I love learning about astrophysics. I always say that in another life I would be an astrophysician, but I'm really bad at physics, so it did not happen. But I love learning about the theories and everything, just not the mathematical portion of astrophysics, but like learning about everything when it is explained for non-physicians. I just completely love it. So that was a good audiobook. It was published in 1988, so it's kind of old and things have evolved since then, but I think it's a good way to like learn about it, and it's really easy to understand. You don't have to know about physics really. Mentioning that, I have also listened last year to, I think it was called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry, something like that, and it was so good. I just recommend it. It was fun, easy to understand, and a good way to start learning about astrophysics. So yeah, that was a 5 stars for me. I mean, A Brief History of Time, just a good second book of the month. And then I have read an ebook. It's called Tame a Wild Heart by Cynthia Wolf, and it was published in 2014. And it says Catherine Evans fell in love when she was 3 years old, head over heels, forever kind of love. The very first moment she saw 12-year-old Duncan Mackenzie, she told God and her pony that she was going to marry that boy. He was handsome, he was kind, he was strong and smart and all the good things a boy should be. For 13 years, she loved him with every beat of her heart. And on her 16th birthday, he walked away from her farmer's ranch and from her. He didn't look back over his shoulder, not even once. And from that day forward, Catherine Evans swore of all men. Duncan Mackenzie left the ranch 10 years ago, desperate to escape temptation. But Catherine's frightened father summons him home. He returns to a defiant siren, a woman whose heart is as wild as the land. She would sacrifice her life for it. It was okay. It was set in the US. I went into it thinking it was more historical romance, like set in the UK with Duke and Prince and whatever, but no. Yeah, so it was not what I was expecting. The writing was okay. It took me quite a while to read it. It wasn't that good. It was okay. It was okay. So it was a 3 stars. Nothing bad, nothing amazing. And yeah, I'll probably forget about this book, but that's okay. I can't remember everything. And then the 4th book I have read this month is, well, last month, November, Shopaholic Takes Manhattan. This is by Sophie Kinsella, and it was published in 2001. I had read that before in French. Now I have read it in English. So the blurb says, with her shopping excesses somewhat in check and her career as a TV financial guru thriving, Becky's biggest problem seems to be tearing her entrepreneur boyfriend, Luke, away from work for a romantic country weekend, and worse, figuring out how to pack light. But packing takes on a whole new meaning when Luke announces he's moving to New York for business, and he asks Becky to go with him. Before you can say Prada sample sale, Becky has landed in the Big Apple, home of Park Avenue penthouses and luxury boutiques. Surely it's only a matter of time until she becomes an American TV celebrity, and she and Luke are the toast of Gotham society. Nothing can stand in their way, especially with Becky's bills miles away in London. But then an unexpected disaster threatens her career prospects, her relationship with Luke, and her available credit line. Shopaholic Takes Manhattan, but will she have to return it? It was funny. As usual, everything in the Shopaholic series is just funny. I think it's like a breath of fresh air. It was exactly what I needed. Just so good, and I'll keep reading this series. This is the 2nd book, so I'm still at the beginning. I have already read most of it, just going back into it. It's always nice and fun. This was a 4 stars. Of course, it's a young adult book. The writing is not exceptional. It's just, it's a fun read. Yeah, if you're looking for something light, you should try it. It's really good. And then I read a book that I did not enjoy. It's Wait Until Midnight by Amanda Quick. This was published in 2004. The blurb said that, okay. Gentle reader, it could have been a scene from one of my novels. As a rule, respectable ladies do not accept calls from mysterious gentlemen on business of the most grave importance. But I confess that I was possessed of a lively curiosity. The past 3 years had been so determinedly dull, I hoped Mr. Adam Hardesty would offer a tiny respite from it. Indeed, upon first glance, Mr. Hardesty had such a formidable, thrilling presence, he quickly became the model for the villain in the sensation novel I was currently writing. Imagine my shock and distress then when Mr. Hardesty accused me of being party to a plot of murder, blackmail, and general villainy. I knew nothing of such occurrences and proclaimed my innocence. Unfortunately, Mr. Hardesty left unconvinced, and I had an uneasy feeling over what his search would uncover. You see, gentle reader, though I live a most uneventful life now, my past contained a great scandal that would be ruinous if resurrected. To protect my secrets from Mr. Hardesty's investigation, I concluded I would need to conduct an inquiry of my own, and if that meant sharing my findings with Mr. Hardesty, so be it. And my course of action had nothing whatsoever to do with the illicit, passionate feelings that he aroused in me, feelings that propriety would definitely frown upon. It was okay. I gave it 2 stars. I just don't think it's for me. So I thought it was a historical romance, like basically a rich guy falling in love with a girl, whatever, get married, have kids. But this was not it. It's like a thriller, but on a historical fiction type of books. Just not for it. So 2 stars. It was no. And I got sick when I was reading this, so it took me forever. And then I have read a real historical romance, When Beauty Tamed the Beast by Eloisa James. This was published in 2011, so more recent than the other one. The blurb said that says that Miss Lynette Berry Turn is a beauty. Naturally, she's betrothed to a beast. Piers Yvelton, Earl of Marchand, lives in a castle in Wales, where it is rumored his bad temper flies everyone he crosses. And rumor has it that one has left the Earl immune to the charm of any woman. Lynette is just not any woman. She is more than merely lovely. Her wit and charm brought a prince to his knees. She estimates the Earl will fall madly in love in just 2 weeks. Yet Lynette has no idea of the danger posed to her own heart by a man who may never love her in return. This was good. It wasn't the first Eloisa James I have read. It won't be the last. It's just funny. I love her writing. And yeah, but I still give it 4 stars. It's not that bad. It's good. I don't think it's worth 5 stars just because the feeling wasn't there. Still a solid read. I think if you're interested in historical romance, you should definitely read it. So yeah, this was good. And then I've listened to another 5 stars. This one is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So it was published this year in 2022. I love Emily Henry. So I have read 2 books by her. So I have a Beach Read, and I also read the other one. I forgot the name, but now I have read her most recent read, so Book Lovers. The blurb says Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she's not that type of heroine. Not the I can't read my own writing. Like I wrote and I can't. So I don't know what I wrote there, but okay, so she's not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for her client, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby, which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina. But instead of picnics and meadows of run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish Brooklyn editor from back in the city. So that was a 5 stars for me. Not surprised there. I just think she writes such good books, and like the characters are so funny. Usually, you know, in romance, like it's always the same. But I love the fact that Emily Henry is like making fun of romance stereotypes while writing a romance. Yeah, in this book, Nora doesn't want kids. I don't think there's enough representation in romance of women who do not want kids. Personally, I want kids eventually, but like I think that we should see more women that do not want kids in romance, because they exist and they deserve love and they can have great love. And in this book, even Charlie, so the male character, does not want kids. So I think it's really great, and I just enjoyed that book. It's gonna be in the top books of the year for sure. I know she's nominated for the Good Read Award. I think she might win. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of the nominees this year because I don't usually read new books. So yeah, but a solid read, and I'll try to get my hands on the physical copy eventually. I don't know, because it would be nice to have more than one Emily Henry in my bookshelf. So we'll see. But yeah. And then I have read... I have reread Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It's my yearly reread. I reread them all. I'm now reading the Half-Blood Prince. I know the writer is problematic. I have not bought this edition new. I got it from the used bookstore, so I'm fine with it. And I'm just not gonna promote that writer. But Harry Potter is part of my life, part of me growing up, and part of my Christmas traditions. So that was a 5 stars read for me as usual, but we'll just go to the other one. The last book I have read this month is With This Ring by Amanda Quick, and I just talked about Wait Until Midnight by the same writer. She's not for me. So this one was published in 1998, so it's a kind of old book. I think I might have a first edition. It doesn't really matter because they're mass paperback edition, but it's always nice to have first edition. So the blurb says, Leo Drake, the man monk of Monkrest, is notoriously eccentric and unquestionably reclusive, but he is also a noted antiquities expert, which is why Beatrice Poole has demanded his reluctant assistance. The tree-thinking authoress of horrid novels, Beatrice is searching for the forbidden rings of Aphrodite, a mythic treasure she suspects played a role in her uncle's death. Beatrice finds Leo every bit as fascinating as one of the heroes in her novels. For a villain lurks in London waiting for the pair to unearth the forbidden rings, knowing that when they do, that they will be their last. Do I really have to say anything about it? So same thing, I thought it was a historical romance. Turns out, oh, it's snowing. Anyway, turns out it's like a kind of thriller with romance. Just not for me. I have nothing else to say. I gave this 3 stars, which is better than the other one, but still not so good. So, I have read, I forgot to write my stats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, including 1 in French and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by women. It's normal for me, like I read more books by women than by men. So the only book by a man I have read in November is A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking. If you're into astrophysics and you know a good book written by a woman scientist, anyway, by a woman writer, please tell me because I want to read more about astrophysics. And yeah, so with the 9 books I have read in November, I'm now at 182 books, which means that if I want to get to my goal of 200 books, I need to read 18 books in December. Will it happen? I'm hoping so, but I don't know. But yeah, so thank you for watching this video. But before I leave, I'll just bring you, because it is now, okay, so it is now snowing. I don't know if you can see, you can't really see, but it's snowing now, and yeah, it's getting super dark. This is my shelf where I film. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.